Good evening. Welcome to the Brno Expat Centre. Tonight we are here with next webinar number 13 about tax domicile, a step-by-step guide for dummies. A week ago we had a webinar which was with psychologist about mental well-being, and in 1 week time, so next Thursday, we will have a walk-in clinic about the tax domicile. So if you still don't get it after today's session, you can visit us next week, Monday and Wednesday office hours, and all day Thursday we will have 2 consultants available only for the tax domiciles.
Yeah, so the plan for today is to explain step by step everything you need to know in order to get the tax domicile. We'll explain who actually needs this thing, what it is. We will talk about the actual documents you need to collect to apply, how to apply, and then what other documents are needed in case you want to apply or use this document abroad, outside the Czech Republic. Today, because it's his field of expertise, Jan will be the main speaker and I will be your moderator and the test dummy here. We are going to try to do this session a very swift one, so any comments or questions, which we of course encourage you to ask or comment, we will deal with later on after we've finished the presentation. So
let's get started.
Yeah, let's get started. So Janko, how do I know I need the tax domicile?
You only need it if you are asked for it. You don't have to get a tax domicile. It's not that something has it for any reason. Only if and typically it's your employer, ask you to bring tax domicile as a confirmation of your tax residency in the Czech Republic. Then the employer might need it for your tax allowances and tax reliefs. Only if you are entitled for them. So it's not for everybody. Not everybody is entitled for all the specific tax reliefs. And the second very common reason is that your home government asks you to bring a tax domicile. So all Greeks who come to our office, they need it for their government to bring it every year. So 2 reasons for employer or for your home country. There might be other reasons, but don't get a tax domicile that you just might need it, only get it if you are asked for it.
So a very non-typical beginning of a webinar. If you do not fall into these 2 options, you can stop watching us and start watching Netflix, for example. It's 5 p.m. anyway, so have fun. If, however, you're still curious and want to continue with us, Janko, tell me more about this tax domicile. So what is it?
Tax domicile is a confirmation about your tax residency.
And what is the tax residency?
Tax residency is a fact which is an outcome of your life situation, where you actually live. It's not an option. You cannot switch tax residency from one country to another as you wish. If you live in one country, and live means you rent out a property, apartment, a house, or you own it, you go there every night to sleep and you work in that country, but most importantly, you live there physically. You take advantage of the public space and the services and infrastructure. That country wants to tax all your worldwide income and won't look at you as a tax resident. It can get, of course, more complicated. You might have a family living in some other country, you might rent or own property in another country, and that's why there are so many questions regarding the tax residency.
Okay, so I understand that it's not up to me to choose where I want to be a tax resident. It's up to the Czech Republic to decide that I actually qualify
to recognize if you are in the situation of a Czech tax resident.
Okay, and we speak about this tax domicile, but what is it? Is it like my name on some list, or is it some piece of paper? I have no idea what it looks like.
We have it here.
And we have it here.
We have it here. So the tax domicile is actual 1-page document issued by financial office. It's issued in Czech, English, and German. It costs 100 koruna fee to the financial office, and it comes in about 2 weeks.
Okay, but is this enough if, for example, we're talking about Greek? So let's imagine I'm not Slovak, but I'm Greek, and I want to present this document to the authorities in Greece. They asked me to, is this enough?
So this is exactly the document that you need. However, if you look at the bottom of the page, there is a second signature. So the domicile is issued by the local office, the authority in Brno, but if you need it for international use, before you send it for the international seal, you have to get a second signature from the directory in Prague. At the end of the webinar, we'll explain exactly what steps you have to take for the international use.
Okay. And is this, yes, so this is actually not enough on its own, and there are other things that I will need if I want to apply in abroad.
Internationally, you need to have, except for the second signature, the international apostilla, and then you might need it translated to the language of the government that you present it to.
Okay, that sounds complicated, but we will talk
we'll
about
talk
it
about
later.
It at the end as well. Yeah.
Okay, so we now know what it is, we know whether we need it or not at all, and now let's talk about how to apply for it.
Before you apply, make sure that you qualify. So actually that 100 fee and all the effort is worth it.
Okay.
You qualify if you live in the Czech Republic, as we said, 6 months and more in 1 calendar year. And now the tax domicile, one of the first questions on the application is if you apply for a period of a time, usually typically in the last year, or if it's to a date. If it is the first option for a specific period of a time in the last year, you have to support with evidence that period of a time. So if you ask for full 2020 domicile.
Okay, so yes, that was exactly my question. So if I, let's say, decided that, or someone decided that I need to prove that I was a tax resident the whole 2020, I need to prove only 6 months of that year, or?
If you prove only 6 months, it will be issued for 6 months plus 1 day, because it has to be more than 6 months.
So if I need it for the whole year?
You have to support it with evidence for the full year.
Okay.
So the accommodation contract, which started on the 1st of January 2020 or before that, and goes all the way until the end of the year. So
At least.
So the full period you apply for has to be with the evidence. But it's okay if you just get it for 7 months or 8 months. For the government, even for the employer, if you are applying for the tax reliefs only for that 8 months, it's enough. And
what if they just ask me, are you a tax resident now? What do I do? Because now, today we have what? It's 21st of January. Can I apply?
So the tax domicile is always for the past, because they have to recognize what was their life situation, or up to a date, up to today. So if you apply today, you can apply, I would like to have domicile confirmation issued for January 21st. And you just bring evidence last 6 months until January 21st.
Okay. So there are 2 types, and I understand that if I live here, but maybe my family doesn't, then it gets complicated. It's like Facebook, right? And they need to analyze my situation in more depth.
Yeah, well, that's why the forms, we'll talk about it later, have so many questions about your family life, about where is your property, where is your bank account, where do you spend most of the time, how long in the last year have you been in your home country. Again, the typical situation is if you are on your own with a girlfriend, boyfriend, doesn't matter, but you live in the Czech Republic, you work here more than 6 months, you are tax resident. But if you are married with a wife, spouse, and the children, and they live in another country, and you are still one household, you support them financially, but they don't live in the Czech Republic, then there is a question mark about your tax residency.
Are there any cases when I definitely am not a tax resident?
And there are cases when you even live here more than 6 months, but you are a student or you are in the Czech Republic for medical treatment, then you are not tax resident.
Okay. I think you should be seeing this on the screen, or you've seen it a moment ago, so it should be nicely summed
listed
up for you. Okay, so now we know how to apply, but what is the actual procedure? Like, what do I need to provide, and how do I apply?
So that's the purpose of the whole seminar. So now we'll go step by step over the application process. So first of all, you need to find out which is your financial office.
Okay, and this I can do very easily, right? I will just check my address. So, for example, let's say I live on Trávníky 28. I do, right? I put it onto a website, mapy.cz. I'm sure you know it. It's a Czech version of Google Maps. And if you type it into the search window, it will show you not only the address and its location, but also the city district in which it belongs. This is Černá pole, Black Fields. And this is the city district that I then take and look for on a different website. It's the official website of the municipality, Brno. And there's a list of 4 tax offices. And these 4 tax offices have districts that belong to them. And you can easily do just control find, fill in your city district, and you will find out that you belong. Are we there yet?
No.
And you will find out that you belong to Finanční úřad 3, number 3, which is which one? Šumavská, right?
Šumavská Street.
Yes. So this is how you can check which tax office you belong to. It's quite often a question for our consultants, and here you can see that it's a very easy thing to solve and find. Okay, so once I know where I go, I need to know what documents I need to take with me, right?
Yeah. To make it more complicated, each financial office has their own application form. There's not one form for the same domicile at any financial office. So 4 financial offices, 4 application forms. So you know which financial office you belong to. Financial office number 1 has the form which is pretty simple, and it's application form 1 page. However, all the remaining questions, how long you've been living here, where is your family, bank account, property, and so on, you have to answer in person. They invite for an interview.
It's a follow-up to the...
It's a follow-up. They let you know in 1 week and set up an interview with you. Now, during the COVID period, it's still possibly they might invite you. However, the remaining 3 financial offices, they have longer forms where the questions are printed and you can answer them on paper and you don't have to go for an interview. So download the form to your financial office. It's in Czech, and fill it out with your colleagues, with somebody that can help you. Come to our office next week Thursday, or we can help you over a video call with filling out the application.
And the applications are available on our website, right?
The applications you can download on the website brnoexpatcentre.eu in the guide about the tax domicile. We have a link to our Google documents and where you can download one of the 4 applications.
Maruška, our colleague, has just edited into the comments, so you will find the link there. Okay, so I know where I belong, I know what form and what way I will be interviewed or asked questions. It's really impossible. 4 offices, 4 forms. It's like in Southeast Asia, right? Same, but totally different. So let's move forward and ask or have a look at other documents we need. So I'm sure we need to prove this length that we were discussing, the length of our stay and the fact that we qualify.
Well, so you start with the application form. Second, you have to make a copy of your ID card or your passport, because you need to prove your identity and that you are a citizen of another country. So that's the second very important document. A simple copy of your ID card is good enough. The length of your stay, the evidence should be your accommodation contract. So use the contract that you have signed with your landlord. Or the landlord can just sign a confirmation. They can issue a document, just write by hand, this person has been living at this address since September 2019 or June 2020 until today, and a signature.
Well, and you will find more guidance on these proclamations about residency, where you're staying, in another guide on residencies and stays. But my question is, quite often the accommodation contracts are not issued for just 6 months, so they're usually older than that when you're applying. So what about that? What if it's, 7-8 months since we signed the contract?
That's a very common problem issue. If the contract is signed more than 6 months ago, you have to ask the landlord to sign it again, just at the end of the contract. This contract is still valid, tento smlouva stále platná, and a date and a signature. The signature cannot be older 6 months, even if the contract is older 6 months.
Okay, so you can see it, including the sentence that should be there and another signature. Okay, is there anything else?
Similar to the accommodation contract, you can attach your employment contract, regular employment contract that you have signed with your employer, or confirmation about your employment might be sufficient as well. This is something that you can easily get from your employer. Confirmation about employment signed by your HR. But importantly, it has to say since when have you been employed. So it should state the starting date and the signature that you are still employed as of today.
But what if I'm not employed? What if I'm self-employed?
Then bring a copy of your business license.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not economically active at all, you should bring evidence why are you staying in the Czech Republic. So it might be that your husband's employment contract or some other. But this is then the financial office should answer that, how you prove that you've been living here. But most of our clients have employment contract or business license.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is this for free, this tax domicile, or do I have to pay for it?
There is a fee.
Okay.
You cannot pay it directly to the financial office. I mean, you can if you are at the office, but if you want to send it by mail, you can attach the 100 revenue stamp. In Czech, it's called kolek.
And where do I get it?
The kolek, you can buy it at any post office. You can ask for kolek revenue stamp. You say for 100, and you get the stamp for 100. You just attach it to the application. Don't stick it on the application. Once you have it all the documents, application, the kolek, you put it in a regular envelope, and on the envelope, don't forget to write your address, so return address, and if you send it by postal mail, the address of the financial office.
And I think we cannot highlight it enough, but it's best to send it as a recommended letter.
Registered mail.
Registered mail, yeah. Sorry. So you have a leaflet and you can track the mail and make sure that the letter has actually arrived where it was supposed to.
Another option is you can drop it in a person to the financial office. So the address is always on the application form, so you can go there. Some financial offices, all of them have office hours Monday and Wednesday, so you can drop it during the office hours. Or some of them have a drop box anytime available, or they have a reception that you can leave it there at any time, but it depends which financial office you go to. And if you have data mailbox, so that's the official government mailbox, of course you can use it for your electronic submission of the application form.
And if I'm a little bit paranoid and I'm not sure if it's gonna arrive back to me, because I've sort of handed everything in, but then I want to get something back, how do they deliver it? Can I go there and make sure I get it into my own hands, or?
If you don't trust the postal mail, so deliver it in person, and you can pick up the domicile in person at the financial office. They let you know in a week or 2 weeks, even to your email address or phone, that it's ready. So you can pick it up in person or specify in the application form for the domicile that you want it sent to your home address. Make sure that your mailbox it's labeled with your name and accessible for the postman.
Okay, so now we know where we belong, what I need to apply, how to apply actually, and how to collect it. So what we still have to discuss and what we promised is what to do in case we need this document, which is usually or quite often the case, that we need it for some foreign authority. So what do I do?
It's like a 2 steps. So in the first step, it's still the same application for the domicile, but if you need it for international use, you have to specify at the end of the application form that you want the second signature. Now we can share with you the specific sentence in Czech. prosím o vyšší ověření za účelem apostilace. And this sentence, if you just write by hand at the end of the application form, will make sure that the financial office will send it to Prague for the second signature of the director's office, and it will come with the second signature already. So you don't pay anything extra, you just have to remember that you have to specifically ask for the additional signature of vyšší ověření, the higher, higher
these
authority.
Two stamps, right?
Yeah, so that's the stamp at the very bottom.
Yes.
So this makes it a bit longer. So usually the domicile is issued in 2 weeks. If you want second signature, has to go to Prague and back, so it takes another 2 weeks. So then you get it in 1 month. And that's not all. After
Of
that,
course it's not all. It wouldn't be the Czech Republic, come on.
after that, you still have to ask for that international apostille, the international stamp on it, which is like additional paper document that then can be used for international use. To get this, we have a guide on our website, brnoexpatcentre.eu. You click on I am an expat, paperwork, apostille, international apostille. Quickly, you put it in an envelope, you write a letter, I want apostille, you attach another 100 collect fee, and you send it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Prague. It comes back in about 2 weeks. You can go there in person, but really you have to go to that ministry in person, and then you can get it on a spot, again, for 100 koruna.
Okay, so if I want to do this safely during the COVID times, meaning all by post, I should be counting what, a month, 2 months roughly?
Yeah, especially now because in January, February, everybody needs domicile, or many people need domicile, then it takes more time. So the issue is for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 2 weeks to go to Prague and back, so that's over 1 month, and then you have to send it for apostilla for another 2 weeks. So it's easily 5-6 weeks.
Okay, so whereas for local use, for my employer and so on, it can be a very swift thing, especially if you belong to one of those tax offices that don't want the interview. But if it's for international use, you should be sort of planning ahead.
And that's not all. You might need it translated.
Yeah.
So if you need it for your government in your language, not only Czech, English, German, then you have to pay for a certified translator. You can find it with any language school or language agency.
Yeah, and we explained this also. Section I'm an expat, paperwork, and you will find there a section on getting things translated or interpreting. So, is this all?
That's all.
Okay, that's quite a lot of red tape, I'd say.
We explained all, and we'll now have a look if there are any questions.
Okay, are there?
Yes.
Okay, let's go then.
Give me 10 seconds.
10,
Because this is locked.
9.
Shall I read the questions?
Yes.
Can we do all of this online? How about e-request or e-delivery?
Not online per se, but you can use the...
You can, what we have listed, all the documents, so application form, accommodation contract, employment contract, you can send it through the data mailbox. So you have to set up data mailbox at the post office. If you have it, you can submit the application via the data mailbox, and you send the 100 koruna fee via a bank transfer.
But not online as meaning by email. You can't do this by email. You have to have an official means of communication, which is data mailbox.
Would you please provide us with English versions of these forms, if possible?
We've discussed that. It seems no. We cannot translate all forms at the moment. So have somebody help you or let us know. We'll go through it over a video call or in the office.
But one of the reasons why we decided not to translate them is because especially the part about your family issues can be quite vague, and it's not clear even if it's fully translated into Czech. It's always better if you're not sure to fill it in with someone who understands.
And I found all the questions. So another one is accommodation contract, original or a copy. A simple copy is okay. This is not immigration office. It does not have to be original or notarized copy. Simple copy is okay.
Mhm.
Another question. What to do if my home country is not registered on the list mentioned at the financial office? Last year it took a long time and they gave me a temporary one. I don't understand what you mean your country is not listed at the financial office. Sorry, Iman, you have to be more specific. I don't understand the question. Mohammed, for the non-EU citizens with a permanent residence, do they need to get a tax domicile or not? Start from the beginning. You are only need a tax domicile if your government or your employer or somebody asks for it. It's not that you have to get it automatically. If you are not asking for some tax reliefs for only tax residents, you don't need it. If your government is not asking for it, you don't need it.
It's not a requirement. It's a possibility for you if some other life situation requires it.
Okay.
Lucy, Jana is asking, can I watch this later? I missed the beginning.
Oh, sure. This is recorded as soon as we finish. Within, 10-15 minutes, Marushka, our colleague, will edit it, upload it online, and then you can review it, stop it at any point, as many times as you need. This is the point, that we want to create webinars that are like useful tools for you later on as well. So no problem. And we will share the presentation as well.
Iman is asking, this is a list that Czech Republic has a relationship with these countries that they can provide this tax confirmation form with. Okay, so I understand. So the tax domicile is only issued if you are a citizen of a country that has agreement against double taxation with the Czech Republic. So if your country is not on the list, they cannot provide you with the Czech domicile, because primarily it's for international use, it's for other countries. This is like a hack for the employers to get some confirmation about your tax residence in the Czech Republic.
Amy is asking if she went through the process last year, does she need to deliver all the same documents this year if nothing has changed? She means her work and flat contract.
Well, she will need to deliver documents which are valid for the period she's applying for again. So last year, Amy, you probably delivered it for the previous tax year or for the period required, and now it will be for a different period of time. So it will be the same set of documents with different dates. If it's the same work contract, if it's the same accommodation contract, then you will need to follow the instructions that we already have given you. Write that the contract is still valid, accommodation contract is still valid if the signature is older than 6 months, or ask your employer to issue a current confirmation of your employment with a fresh stamp in case you signed your employment contract several years ago and it's a contract for indefinite period of time and so on. So same list, but with fresh stamps or updated stamps, right?
Yeah, there's a question. How can I get domicile for the last year? I changed employer. It doesn't matter that you change employer. So you apply for the last year with one or more employers. You can bring evidence that you've been employed with 1 or 2 or 3 employers.
It just needs to, together, it needs to add up to the whole period that you want covered. So if you're talking the whole calendar year, then it would be employer 1, January to April, employer 2, May to October, and employer 3, November to December. And then you cover the whole period of time.
There's a question if your address have to be on accommodation contract, that you are only guest in a friend's house. If you don't have accommodation contract,
if you don't have an accommodation contract, then
bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck. You need to get it somehow.
Without accommodation contract, you cannot prove you've been living here, so you can't get proof that you are tax resident.
Mm-hmm.
There are questions that are about the tax reliefs, tax discounts, and tax allowances. Sorry, this session is not about your tax returns. We can't answer that here. Plus, this is very individual, so there is no general answer for all how to get it for your spouse or children, because there are so many variables. If you need help with your tax return, we cannot do it at the Expat Center. You have to find a tax consultant, tax accountant who can help you to apply for the tax reliefs.
On our website, you go to the section I'm an expat, scroll on the very bottom. There are expat-friendly services that are listed there, and among them you will find an English-speaking tax advisor. So that's an option for you. You can contact Mr. Hayek, who's there, and you can set up an appointment and deal with your tax return directly with a specialist.
Okay.
Is this all?
These are all the questions that I see, because for some reason I see only last always 6 questions. Mari, can you help me if there are questions that we skip, and we really can't answer the questions about how to do your tax return, how to apply for the tax reliefs.
What about family members of Czech citizens? Do they still need it if they are from third world country?
Well, if the employer of the family member requires it from them, then yes. If nobody asks them to provide this document, then no. That's what we said at the beginning. Only get this document if there's a need, and the need comes either from your local employer in the Czech Republic or from your home country or other country where you were a resident in the past, and you need to deal with the double taxation or avoidance of double taxation.
Again, Iman, and so I'll finish this, Iman, and then contact us individually if you need help. Because it seems like your situation is more complicated, but if you cannot get tax domicile for your employer, still you can be tax resident. At the beginning we said that tax residency is not on-off decision of the financial office. They only recognize your situation and issue a proof that you are tax resident. You might be a tax resident and you can prove it otherwise without financial office certificate.
Yeah. So please, Iman, contact us individually and we will get back to you about this, yeah?
If we missed any questions, we'll ask them.
And yeah, if we missed any questions, you can ask questions in the follow-up comments and we will get back to you, or even better, go to our website, contact us through an online contact form, and we will get back to you individually within the following 2 working days. And if this is something concerning tax domicile, or if you actually need help with this, I will just remind you once more that next week, same day, Thursday, from 9 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon, in the evening, there will be our consultants here. You can book a slot and they will go through your documents, and if you have everything that's necessary, they will help you fill in the forms, put everything in an envelope, and all you do is send it, or we can even do it for you if you bring the necessary stamps. So this is something that will be happening next week. Feel free to book a slot because there are not that many available anymore. So book it now. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all from us. Hopefully you found it somehow useful. If you have remaining questions, we will answer those in the comments, and you can use the contact form at the brnoexpatcentre.eu website. Our consultants will get back to you.
Yeah, it was really nice having you here. Thank you for asking the questions, and we will try to think of next topics that might come in handy to you and that we can prepare in a similar way, so you don't have to worry about them anymore once we explain them.
Yep, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.